Welcome to lesson 6 of how to build your successful online fitness business. If you missed lesson 1 through 5, I highly recommend you check them out here. We talked about choosing your niche, setting up your profile, setting up your offer, how to post on social media to attract clients, and how to book phone calls with leads. So now that we've got everything set up and we've got the opportunity to book phone calls with leads, what do we do when they're actually on the phone? Don't worry, I got you. Now, first things first, you can't sell the thin air, which means people actually have to show up to that phone call. So in Calendly, what you want to do is you want to set up email and text reminders. You want to set them up for 24 hours before and 1 hour before the event. I would just recommend using the email and text reminders that are already pre-programmed into Calendly. You just have to set them up so that when people book the call, automatically they're going to get reminded. Now, unfortunately, this by itself isn't enough. Why? Because people are lazy, they forget, or they just don't want to talk to you. So another thing you're going to do is the night before you're done work, every night, you're gonna check your calendar for the following day and you're gonna see who has a sales call booked. Anybody that has a sales call booked, you're gonna open up your calendar and you're gonna send them this video. Yo, what's going on, John? Hope you're having the best day of your entire life. Just check the calendar for tomorrow, saw we're booked in for a quick 20-minute call. I'm super excited. We're gonna talk about your number one struggle, your number one goal, and I'm gonna give you a game plan to help you achieve your goals. Bring a pen and paper, it's gonna be awesome, and I'll chat with you tomorrow. Sending a personalized video like this will instantly build more rapport, it'll build more trust, and they're gonna feel like dickhead if they don't show up because you sent them a personal video. Now understand this, people don't show up to calls like this with a credit card in hand ready to purchase. If that was the case, they would already be in shape, they wouldn't need you, and they'd already be fit. Every single person that comes to these sales calls is going to have excuses for why they can't take action, because if they didn't have excuses, they would already be in shape and they wouldn't need you. So you need to expect that people are gonna come to the call with objections. Now the 4 main objections that you're going to get: time, I don't have the time for it, I want to start next week. Money, I don't have the money for that, it's outside of my budget. Spouse, I need to talk to my spouse, I need to talk to my partner, I need to talk to my dog, or I need to think about it, which isn't an actual objection, it's a smoke screen for one of these 3. So the first part of the call, what you're gonna do is you're gonna build some rapport. What's going on, Nick? How you doing, brother? Good, yeah, I'm doing good as well, my man. I'm just getting to work on some client programs and everything like that. Cool, you mind if we jump in? Then you're gonna get into what I call the pre-frame. The pre-frame is gonna set the container for the entire call. If you don't do a pre-frame, what's gonna happen is they're gonna view you as a friend and not a coach. And people don't buy from friends, they buy from coaches. And so in the first 30 seconds of the call, you need to make sure that you set the pre-frame, and this is exactly what you're gonna say. All right, Nick, so what we're gonna do in today's call is I'm basically gonna ask you a few questions to figure out exactly what you're struggling with in your fitness journey, what your goals are, and then I'm gonna help you come up with a game plan to achieve your goals. At the end of the call, if I feel like I can help you out, I'll invite you to work with me. And if I feel like I can't help you out, I'll let you know and I'll point you in a different direction. Does that sound good? Now, once they agree within the first 30 seconds of the call, they're like, yep, that sounds good. They've agreed to the container that you are the coach, they are the client, and you've also told them, I'm gonna pitch you something at the end of the call. Now we're gonna get into the pain points. What we need to do with the pain points is we need to figure out exactly what brought them to the call. So Nick, let's get into it. What would you say is the biggest struggle that you have in your fitness journey right now? And we're gonna use what I call the 3 layers deep theory. Okay, that makes sense. You have been struggling to lose 20 pounds, okay? And how long have you been struggling to lose that weight? That's layer 2. 3 years. Oh my gosh, that's a long time. That's a long time, brother, I feel that. And out of curiosity, what made this like a right now thing for you to reach out and ask for some help? Once we identify the pain points and we get to the root cause of the problem, at that point, we can move on to the next part of the script. Now, you wanna make sure with the pain points that you're not rushing through these questions, that you're actually taking the time to listen to the prospect, hear them out. Maybe you're asking some expansive questions. What do you mean by that? What exactly does that mean? Can you elaborate a little bit more? However, the goal of asking these questions in the pain point part of the script is to uncover the root cause of why people are actually on that call with you. If you can figure out the root cause, the actual core pain point of what brought them to the call, not that they want to lose 20 pounds, but because they looked at themselves in the mirror and they hated what they saw in their reflection and they realized they were letting their kids down, if you can get to that reason, I guarantee you it's going to be a lot easier to close. Plus, if you don't have a very good memory, make sure that you're taking notes throughout the call, because throughout the call, you're going to be able to write down specific things that you can bring up when you pitch. Next part of the script is why now, why me? This is where you're going to ask a prospect what made them show up to the call with you today, and why did they choose to get on the call with you instead of another online coach? So Nick, I got to ask, what makes this a right now thing for you? Like, you know, you could start your fitness journey in a year or 2 years, but you showed up with a call with me today. Like, what makes this a right now thing for you? Asking this question will allow them to feel an internal sense of urgency, and they won't feel like you're selling them. They'll feel like they're selling themselves, which ultimately is the goal. If you sell somebody something, they might regret buying it. But if they buy it because of their own internal reasons, it's not even gonna feel like you sold them. And Nick, I gotta ask, you know, there's a lot of people that you could reach out to for help. What made you decide to get on this call with me today? Well, you're so handsome and I love your beard and your face is nice. Cool. Next part of the call, we're gonna get to the vision. Now in the vision part of the script, this is really where people struggle, because a lot of people have been overweight their entire lives. And a lot of people are gonna have a really hard time figuring out exactly what they want in their fitness journey. So we're gonna ask, so Nick, let me ask you, what would you say is your number one goal for your fitness journey right now? Losing that 20 pounds? Okay, great. Let's dive a little bit deeper on that. So let's say we lost the 20 pounds, Nick. What does that actually look like for you? How would that make you feel? Great. Okay, perfect. So let's do this for a second. Nick, close your eyes for a sec. I want you to imagine we're 6 months into the future. You look at yourself in the mirror. You're literally in the best shape of your life. You lost 20 pounds. You can see your abs. You can see some veins. You look and feel your very best. Tell me how that makes you feel. And what areas of your life would benefit if you were in the best shape of your life? How would your relationships improve? What about your social life? What about your confidence? Can you see that? Bro, I believe in you. 20 pounds is a very realistic goal within the next 12 weeks. I got you. Now, once we've got their pain point and their vision, this creates the next point number 5, which is called the gap. Now, the gap is the distance between where they are right now and where they want to be. Our job on that call is to widen the gap. So Nick, I gotta ask, now that I know exactly what you want to lose the 20 pounds, see your six pack, be in the best shape ever, why do you feel like you haven't been able to achieve these goals on your own? Fair enough. And just out of curiosity, I just want to play devil's advocate for a second. Let's just pretend that you do absolutely nothing on this call. You decide, you know what, B, I'm just going to stick to my stuff right now. I don't want to do anything different. I don't want to shake things up. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. Let's say you stay the same for the next 6 months, 12 months, a year, and maybe you actually gain another 10 to 20 pounds. How would that make you feel? So right now on a scale of 1 to 10, how important would you say it is for you to make a change right now so you actually lose the weight? We've got the pre-frame, the pain points, why now, why me, the vision, the gap. Now we're actually gonna do a fitness assessment. So step number 6 is where you do the assessment. The biggest mistake you can make on your calls is giving advice throughout the call. Throughout the call, you wanna treat yourself like a doctor. When you go into a doctor and you've got some ear pain, you go up to him and you're like, doctor, my ear hurts. And he says, how long has it been hurting for? And you're like, 3 years. And you're like, why haven't you come to me sooner? Because I'm stupid. What do you think is wrong with your ear? I don't know. Can you please help me? He's gonna ask you questions to figure out exactly what you're struggling with. And once he has enough data, he's gonna make a recommendation. That's how you wanna treat your sales call. You wanna collect as much data as possible throughout the call. Once you've got enough data, then when you get to point 6, you can say, do you mind if I coach you for a minute, Nick? So based on everything you've told me so far, you're eating out at McDonald's 3 times a week, you're going to the gym twice a week, you're doing 2 hours of cardio a day, bro, no wonder you're not losing weight. You're putting your body in this constant state of stress. You're not giving it the nutrients that it needs. Then you're overtraining yourself in the gym by doing 2 hours of cardio a day. Plus you're not doing enough resistance training to build weight. You're all over the place, Nick, all right? So first things first, we gotta stop the McDonald's. Second thing, we're gonna cut back the cardio. Third thing is I'm gonna increase your calorie intake on a daily basis. You're gonna be able to eat more food and lose weight and feel your very best because you're not constantly burnt out from all the cardio. Is everything I'm saying making sense? Once they say yes, you're gonna test their commitment levels one more time. Okay, Nick, so I gotta say, I only work with serious people in my coaching program because I care about your results and I want you to win. So again, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I don't care about this right now, 10 being I'll do whatever it takes to lose the weight, where are you sitting on that scale? When you ask them that question, it will give you an answer for how they're feeling in terms of their objection. If they give you anything less than a 10, there's an objection coming up for sure. So if they're like 7, I'm like, okay, great, I totally get that. So why is it a 7 and not a 10? And then they're gonna say, well, because I need to make sure it fits the finances, or, well, because I'm really busy with my schedule right now, or, because I really have to floss my cat next week. And then you can be like, okay, great, that makes sense. But I wasn't really asking about you flossing your cat, Nick. I was asking, I'm gonna work really hard on your meal plan and training plan, and I'm gonna do that for you, and I'm gonna make sure it's awesome. If I give you your meal plan and training plan, are you actually gonna do your very best, or are you just gonna give it a 7 out of 10 effort? Well, I'm gonna give it my very best. Okay, great. So would you say you're a 7 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10? Well, I'm a 10 out of 10 when you put it like that. Okay, that's awesome. Now I just got them to recommit over their objection, which will make it easier for them to say yes at the end of the call. Then you're gonna talk about your program. So Nick, at the beginning of the call, I'd let you know whether or not I could help you out. The good news is you're definitely the type of person that I could help. Would you mind if I told you a little bit about my coaching program? They're gonna say yes, because you're handsome and you got a nice beard. Okay, Nick, so I do a 12-week total body transformation program that has 3 different layers: the training, the nutrition, and the accountability. So for the training program, I know that your goal is to lose 20 pounds, so I'm gonna update your program every 4 weeks, and I'm gonna make sure that your plan is designed so that you actually lose the weight. Does that make sense? We're gonna do what's called the yes ladder. We're gonna say, does that make sense? They're gonna say yes. For the nutrition, I'm gonna update your plan on a weekly basis, and I know how important it is for you to lose this weight. So every week, your plan will either have you losing weight, or if it doesn't, I will make adjustments to your plan so that you actually lose the weight. Does that make sense? Yes. That's 2 yeses now. Perfect. And for the accountability, I'm gonna check in with you every single week. I'm gonna send you a check-in. It's your job to send me the check-in back. Once I have your check-in, I'll give you a response and I'll tell you what adjustments we're gonna make for the week. That way, we're always losing weight or we're making changes so that we lose weight the next week. Is that cool? Perfect. So Nick, out of the training, nutrition, and accountability, what part of the program stood out the most for you? So we got 2 things there. I'm gonna pause for a second. We got the yes ladder because, does that make sense? Yes. Does that make sense? Yes. Does that make sense? Yes. So this is called the yes ladder. We stack up yeses so it makes it more likely they'll say yes to the end of the call. Then we're gonna move on to step 8, which is getting them to sell it back to you. So Nick, I gotta ask, out of all the parts of the program that I mentioned, which part of the program stood the most for you? The nutrition plan and your handsome beard. Okay, great. And why do you feel like the nutrition plan would benefit you the most? Now they're gonna give you a bunch of reasons why the nutrition plan is awesome, and they're gonna sell themselves on the program for you. Now we're gonna move to step 9, drop the price. Okay, Nick, so the only thing we haven't covered is the timeline and the investment. So I do a 12-week transformation program. Now, if you were to hire an in-person trainer for 12 weeks, it would cost you about $3,000 and you wouldn't get a nutrition plan. My training, nutrition, and accountability program comes with guaranteed results, and for 12 weeks, it's only $9.99. How does that sound?
Well, that's a little bit outside the budget, Brian.
Totally understand, Nick. Now, finances aside, does the program sound like what you're looking for?
Well, yeah, I think it sounds pretty good.
So just to be super clear, like you do feel like the program is gonna help you lose 20 pounds, it's just the financial aspect?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. So, I would hate for finances to be the reason that you didn't take action today. And I understand $9.99 is a little bit of an investment, but let me ask you, Nick, if we were able to help you lose 20 pounds in the next 12 weeks, would that investment be worth it? It would? Okay, great. So is it that you don't have a card you can put on? Is it savings or is it something else? You just don't have it? Okay, well, why don't we do this? Typically speaking, I don't like doing this because clients that pay in full are typically more committed and they actually follow through on their goals. So I gotta know if I get you in on some sort of deal that you're actually gonna follow the program, you're gonna do everything that I ask, and you're actually gonna lose the weight. Can I get your commitment on that? Okay, so Nick, what I can do for you is I'll do $350 a month. That way you can get started right now. We'll cut out the money that you're spending on fast food because I'm not gonna let you eat fast food if you're in my program. That will save you some money on the budget. This is a lot easier on the budget. We can get you started at $350 and we can start losing that 20 pounds. How does that sound? Ha-boom, you close the deal. Now there's also the time objection, the spouse objection, and I'll think about it objection. I'm gonna cover those really quickly in this video. And I'm just gonna let you know, if you want some help with your online coaching business and this training's been valuable, I want you to tap the button below to book in for a call with me and my team. We'll talk about your number one struggle, your number one goal, and we will help you come up with a game plan. I know this series has been massively valuable for you, and I want you to know that our coaching program is even better. It has not only me, but we've got 10 other coaches in there that are literally delivering high value at all times. You're gonna have 24/7 support. Any question that you ever have will be answered within 24 hours by at least 2 coaches, including my business partner, Cole De Silva, who has over 3 million followers on all social media platforms. So if you're interested, tap the button below to book in for a call with me and my team. Let's talk about the spouse objection. Okay, Nick, totally get that you need to speak with your spouse. Does your spouse know that we're speaking today? Perfect. And typically speaking, is she supportive of your goals and she wants you to win? She is? Okay, great. So, Nick, if your spouse did have an objection to you taking action today, what do you think the objection would be?
Well, the budget.
My advice for spouse objections, you guys, is I don't think it's good to actually sell them without them talking to their spouse. I think it's a recipe for buyer's remorse, so here's what I do. All right, Nick, so listen, I want you to speak with your spouse, and can I be honest with you? Perfect. I've been on hundreds of these calls, and I know for a fact that if you get off this call without taking any action, the likelihood of you not taking action is very, very high, which means you don't lose the weight, and I didn't do my job properly. So go speak with your spouse. Here's what we'll do. Let's get down to a $100 deposit right now to represent your commitment to your own goals. If you talk to your spouse and she thinks my beard is stupid or she doesn't like the idea for whatever reason, I'll send you your money back in full. I just want to see that you're actually committed to your own goals and that you actually want to win. How does that sound? Ha-boom, collect the deposit. Time. I want to start next week. Okay, I totally get it, Nick. Now, just out of curiosity, what about next week makes you want to start?
Oh, it's gonna be a better time for me because I'm in school right now, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, great. So just to be super clear, the program sounds amazing. You really do want to start, but you just want to get started next week because you're busy this week of school. Is that correct? That's correct. Well, here's what we'll do. I do want to start next week as well. That makes complete sense. So what we'll do today is we'll get you started on the 350. We'll do the 350 today. That way I can send you the questionnaire, you can fill it out, and by the time next week comes around, we'll be fully ready to go with your fitness program. I know for a fact if you get off this call and you don't take any action, nothing's gonna change. So we'll do 350 now to represent your commitment to your own goals. I'll send you the questionnaire, you can get it back to me. I'll do your program over the next 7 days, and then in a week, we can just rock and roll. How does that sound? Ha-boom, you close the deal. I need to think about it. Isn't an actual fucking objection. So when it comes up, here's what you say. Nick, I totally get it, brother. Now, just out of curiosity, what exactly is it that you need to think about?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, great. So is it the timing? Do you need to talk with your spouse? Is it the program itself, or is it something else?
Well, it's just a big decision, and I heard a fitness coach before, and it didn't work.
Then you uncover their actual objection, and once you uncover their actual objection, you can go for the close. So is it just because you hired another fitness coach before and that program didn't work, and you feel like this one isn't gonna work? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so Nick, I don't want to be like these other guys that take your money and don't deliver results. So how about I do something special for you?
Well, what do you mean?
I'm willing to offer you a 100% money back guarantee. And here's what that looks like. You complete all your check-ins, you do the work, you show up for yourself. Over the course of the next 12 weeks, you don't lose that 20 pounds, I will send you back every single dollar that you paid. That way, you're protected because you know that your investment is safe. Because if you do the work, you're gonna lose the weight. And if you don't, I'll send you back all your money. How does that sound? boom, you close the deal. That is it. That is all that brings us to the end of this video. If it was valuable, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, tag your friend, let them know that this is the best channel you've ever watched. And if they want to grow a coaching business, you know where to find me. I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace.